dannylau here with Lion Real Estate, empowering individuals and families with financial success through real estate. Today, I want to talk to you about the 3 C's of writing an offer. Well, it's no secret that right now it is a seller's market and buyers are tripping over themselves in order to get into a listing that is desirable. And so how do you as a buyer, and on top of that, how does the agent who is representing you as the buyer can stand out amongst the competitions by using these 3 C's? So the first C I like to cover is communication. We've talked briefly about communication before. And communication is key not only because, well, we need to figure out what the details of the deal is, but to find out if there's anything else that is important to the seller. Because a lot of times you may think, well, price is king. Sure, price plays a huge component in writing offers. But beyond that, the seller may have unique situations that you can write your offer to cater to their situation so that even though the price is a heavy component of your offer, you can stand out amongst your competition by being able to address the seller's specific needs. And so by communicating, we're talking about having the buyer's agent call the listing agent and say, hey, besides the price, is there anything else that your seller would want? What about rent back time? Can I offer your seller 2 weeks, a month of rent back time so that they can have time to pack up and move out? Well, of course, if the buyer is not in a situation where they can offer rent back time, then figure out a different strategy. But bottom line is you have to communicate with the listing agents and the seller in order to figure out what do they want besides price. Because sometimes timing of having a rent back or timing of closing a transaction faster is extremely important to the seller. And so communication is key. And once again, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but I cannot tell you how many times I have heard complaints from either buyers or agents on the other side of the transaction to say, man, this agent just doesn't pick up the phone or respond to text. And that cannot happen in a market where communication is key. The second component of the 3 C's, can anyone guess what word this is? Creativity. And so what we're saying here is price is arguably going to be the most important component. But besides that, how do you make the terms and all the other surrounding factors of your offer more attractive so that, once again, compare against all the other offers can make yours stand out? And this is the part where you have to get creative, because after the price goes so high, there's a certain stretching limit for every single neighborhood, whether it's the appraisal value that becomes a trigger point or people's affordability becomes a trigger point. That particular property just cannot go into an extremely high figure without any constraints. And so being creative is referring to how you can structure the offer so that the offer can shine beyond just the price. Now, there are different contingencies in place. Can you remove some of the contingencies? Or if you cannot remove some of the contingencies, can you bend the rules a little bit to say, hey, I cannot remove, for example, I cannot remove appraisal contingency. However, instead of removing it, maybe as the buyer, you can say, okay, even if the property doesn't appraise, I will pay $5,000 over the appraisal value, so that when a seller sees the offer, they know that the buyer comes with is writing the offer from a good place, not trying to play a game, so to speak, so that they can write the highest offer and bait and switch when the appraisal comes in short. And so there are many different strategies to make your offer shine besides just the price. This comes down to being creative. And another huge component as the buyer, what you can do to be creative is tell your story, because a lot of times you'll be surprised how relatable your situation is. Um, you may be a young family, just you have a brand new baby, and you say, I need more space. And then you have to share that personal side of the human side of the story in a transaction, so that the seller knows that you're not just a dollar sign, that you are somebody who works hard, saved up the money, and would love to find a home for your family, and your children. And so whether you have a dog, whether you guys are married, whether you're a single dad or single mom who is raising the family by him or herself, tell that story. Share some photos too. Let them see the human side of the transaction. That is part of being creative. Now, the third C that I would like to share with you, and arguably, this is the most important part. Confidence. You need to have confidence when you're presenting an offer. Right now, there are too many competitions when you are trying to make a purchase. You cannot just be another name that's been thrown into the hat. You need to present yourself so that the seller and the listing agent knows that the agent and the buyer is going to close this deal. So confidence is something that is unquantifiable, but paramount when it comes to negotiating a transaction. How does a seller and the listing agent know that you are going to be able to make the transaction smooth and they can fulfill what they need to move on to their next chapter? They need to know that you have the capacity, capability, and the savviness to navigate the transaction smoothly. And so the third C, even though not as quantifiable, is actually paramount. So there you go. Those are the 3 C's that is extremely important in helping buyers land their dream properties in a seller's market, especially in 2021. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Let me know if there's any other topics you would like to discuss. And if you enjoy my video, please like it, share it, and tell other people about it. This has been fun, and we will see you next time. Take care.